Oh, Hashem, help me find the fucking words for this. Because this is a biggie. The voice in my head keeps on wanting me to say, do you want to see it? When I, how do you say it? I don't know. Alright, so Hashem. This is Hashem talking to me. I'm seeing fish in the water. Oh. Those aren't fish. What? All right, so this is that what you want me to say? Okay. So the voice of Hashem. What's it saying? If you've ever seen, okay, if you've ever seen one of those people that talk to garbage cans or yell at cars or just randomly, what? The dick. Sprechen ze dick. That's what you want me to say? Sprechen ze dick. Sprechen ze dick. Mein Herren? Hello, gentlemen. Sprechen ze dick. Hello, gentlemen. Sprechen ze dick. That's why he looks away from the camera, because he's too afraid. Yeah. It's a lot easier to not have to look at the camera, and then you can, it's not acting it out. It's letting it out. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And for some reason, I feel like I'm talking to somebody very specific. Well, no, more than one person, actually. There's a group in my head. Interesting thing, around probably about a month or two from now, I'm going to be in Lancaster. And there's going to be a camera. For some reason, I feel like I'm talking to somebody who needs to look at the camera from the Hugo Boss in Lancaster from October 10th to February 28th, 2022 to 2023. I don't know why that's relevant, but it's coming up. And the voice of Hashem is telling me that I need to say that. For some reason, something tells you that there's like two dickheads in particular that need to hear me say that, because I'm your fucking boss. Now get off your fucking lazy ass and then get back to Nilly about that fucking money. Who do I think I'm talking to? I think I'm talking to the vice president and the assistant to the vice president of Hugo Boss North America. Vice president of sales, I'm sorry. Mark Harris. And Kiernan, whatever the fuck your last name is. The guy with the British accent. The one who's real ass kissy on the phone. Mr. Pignataro, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to fucking meet you too either. Why am I talking like that? Because I'm a shareholder. Well, no, I'm sorry. My company, Hugo's Boss, is co-owner of Hugo Boss. So technically, since I'm the representative of that organization, because technically I'm an institutional investor, not some jerk off, why I went to go work for one of my stores to find out what the fuck is going on in there.
Here's a pro tip for anyone.
Because the working conditions, that motherfucker Frank, and I don't give a shit how many people are on my side about how big of a douchebag Frank was. Frank was an amazing human being. Oh, and he owes me fucking dinner and coffee. No, but I told you I'd buy you dinner if you took the job. I don't give a flying fuck. The fact that I put up with your shit for, what was that, 5 months? If we count both Lancaster and New Hampshire. Don't forget that motherfucker. And I left another treat on the fucking video camera there too, which is me kicking the shit out of the back road. And also me doing the jerk off sign at the cameras too. Or me lunging at employees while I was demonstrating how to fucking deal with anger. Today, well, I talked to my friend Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. I love you too. Because I'm a Jew. And I love my God. I love my God like I love myself. And his wife. The two who told me to tell Hugo Boss to go fuck themselves when they were about to mandate fucking vaccines to their employees. Oh shit, sorry. Oh, God. Oh, my brother's the assistant manager at the Atlantic City store, by the way. Go fuck yourself. If you fire him, I'll come through I'll come through fucking HQ. I suggest go watch Thor, Love and Thunder. You don't have to watch the first 10 minutes. You can catch the clip on YouTube, as a matter of fact. When Thor, he goes to save the day, in the very beginning, it's a really fucking badass scene. Fucking love that movie. Do you know how many fucking times I cried during that, motherfucker? My father died of lung cancer, so the whole thing of, holy shit, that was like almost a emotional manipulation. I remember thinking, like, what the fuck what kind of sick fucks are gonna put this in a fucking movie? I curse a lot too, because it makes me feel more comfortable. I eventually calmed down. But that's the point. I don't bottle it up. Well, that's not true. That's not true. But I will say it does take a lot. My ex-wife can fucking attest to this. It takes a lot to fucking push me over the edge. But like once you do, I turn into a fucking animal. Aleister Crowley, right? He was a gentleman that lived back in the early 20th century. He was an Englishman. Like Kieran. But he was really into fucking like weird shit, man. Like occult black magic, Jew magic. It's not even Jew, it's like that was the thing. That's what I respected about the guy. That's what I really liked about the guys, because, and even just like the other people that were around during that time, and the reason why is because they came to a conclusion that I came to not too long ago too. I mean, about 5 years ago. The Jews, my people, we don't have. Oh God, we don't have a copyright. We don't have a copyright on Hebrew and Torah and Talmud for that matter. But that's only relevant to the Jews. like me. Why are you so crazy about that? I don't know. You know, it's like, there's times in my life where I get very passionate about things. Like, I think you could almost argue, like, well, I mean, I could argue. I don't know about anyone else. Well, I'd say so. Well, I say that because I feel like I don't, like, I make it pretty, what's the right word? Apparent? I think I make it pretty apparent, like, pretty straight away. Like, I don't like fucking around. But, I mean, it depends on how you define fucking around. Yeah. You know, no one's ever told me I take myself too seriously. That's a thing, too. That's more of a, that's a me thing. Sometimes I think I should take things as seriously. Oh, well, let me turn around. I'm high. I had plant medicine today. I was talking to Hashem this morning, and we were doing some writing, because it was just like a very, like, revelatory evening. Like, I ended up crying like a big boy last night. About the whole thing with my son, because rewriting this book, How to Break a Life. Sometimes I forget and I say how to destroy a life, but it's it's how to break a life, which I think is a little more. It sounds a lot more painful. And destroy something. You drop a nuclear bomb. Ain't nobody gonna feel shit. But you break somebody. That's a whole different fucking bottle of wax there, man. I just said to my ex-wife, I'm only breaking you down so that I can build you back up again. As in make you better. It's not just about breaking your spirits. I can leave that up to your family. They already did that a long time ago. Oh, God. Yeah, so this morning with Hashem and I, we were talking. Because the coffee was really good. It was okay. I prefer the other ones I'm drinking. Because right now I have Death Wish, hazelnut fudge. Oh my fucking God. Thank you, Hashem. Every time I take a sip of that, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you. Was I serious about the Israel thing? Yeah, of course I was serious about the Israel thing. I mean, I feel safe saying this, but I can tell you, I can say for certain that if Jews knew that Hugo Boss sent money to a fund, you can pick the fund. I don't give a fuck what fund. I was just helping a sister out. And I love writing emails. I love writing emails so much. Not just for the fact that sometimes it's much easier to write things sometimes. Because at least then, like, you don't have to worry about, like, somebody cutting you off or hurting somebody's feelings or saying the wrong thing. And not to mention the fact that it comes off like really passive aggressive, so you know that everybody's laughing instead and go, what a pussy, you couldn't say this to my face? No, I couldn't, because I got other shit that's way more important to deal with than your fucking shattered, fragile ego. Sorry. I had a friend whose wife I slept with once, and he really needed the information. for his own like well-being. And like I cared about my friend enough that I told him. I mean, mind you, it was like 10 years later. I even said to him, you can punch me in the face if you want, but I had to do that once before. There's a man, an old friend of mine, and he fucking was dancing with my wife after I told him he could. Actually, I told him to try to have sex with her. But I was drinking, and that didn't compute. That actually, the alcohol overrode all those instructions. That's why when I fucking clocked him one, because he was grinding up on my wife, and like, I had never felt a rage like that before in my life. And I just looked at it, he became prey. Like like all normal cognitive thinking was like out the fucking window, man. I was actually just thinking this morning, I was doing today's today's Parsha. Because I write my Parsha study out on my Facebook page. Because it's like therapy for me. Because Torah's got like all the answers. So, well, yeah, because what happens is, and the reason I say that, it's the fact that it's a holy book. So God talks to you through the words. He's talking to you, you know? It's told in story format, but that's the point, because you're supposed to empathize with what's going on. And I don't know if everybody's capable of doing that, because like when I read, the reason I say that I'm a Jew is because when I read Torah, even during Sukkot, we just had Sukkot about 2 weeks ago, right before the terrorist attack happened. That's why like I'm not really worried about it, because I read Torah and I know how to read it. So what Hashem is demonstrating to me is like, yeah, you guys don't really need to panic. Nobody needs to panic. Not even the Jews, for that matter. Or the tourists. Or the Palestinians. Who I sent my tzedukah to last week. Because I was scared. I was scared that the Jews were going to find out and get mad at me. And then Hashem was like, I double dare you. I dare you. Am I gonna leave you because you do what I ask you to do, which is fucking do a tzedukah to a Palestinian child's fund? Oh, well, at least you weren't funding the war. I know, but I funded the Israel war. That's why I felt like I owed it to Palestine to give back to the children and not ever do that again. Well, it was like $350, but that's a bulletproof vest. That's a couple meals. A pair of undies, like Hugo Boss undies, which they should be getting for free. Why? To say sorry for helping with the Holocaust, asshole. That's why. Oh, we apologized already. Yeah, that's because people pressured you to do it. And you wanted to fucking cover up your image. To fucking PR. Nobody gives a fuck. That everybody knows that Hugo Boss made the fucking, well, except for the employees. Well, no, that's not true, because it's in the company thing. What's not in the company thing, though, is what happened to Hugo afterwards. You want to talk about a fucking tar and feathering? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but from what I read, the dude was like fucking had his name ran through the mud. Was made an example of. Shit, this is the only one. Shit. Well, I could put these in there. I can put all those down there and there. Okay. I'll put that there. I've been looking for an excuse to clean up this place because I keep on fucking smoking back here. There's a fucking big tower right there. I don't know what it does. All I know is all the trees are dying. They're like collapsing in on their own weight because they turn into mush on the inside. Well, not literally mush, but they get really soft. I spend a lot of time back here. I actually had a ayahuasca ceremony back here. I had drugs shipped to me once. Well, medicine. It wasn't drugs, it was medicine. It was psilocybin, it was chocolates with psilocybin and ayahuasca in it. Oh boy. And you know what I was reading too at the same time was Kaya Ra's book, Sophia Code, which is big in France. Or it was just released in France. That's a thing. I highly recommend reading that one. That's a really good one. You don't have to always do like the Dark Goddess. Like there are light ones, and they're pretty cool. And they complement the dark ones really well. Make the dark ones even yummier. Well, that's a thing with studying witchcraft, because you gotta think of it like Jews and magic people. We're no different. We're the same thing. We're literally the same thing. It's just that they're more systematized, where we're a little more free flowing. See, because I come from the dark side. Jews come from the light side. So it's like two different schools of thought. Like if you look at the Kabbalah, right? You got the tree of life and then you have the tree of death directly underneath it. Like I have a dark soul. I have a black soul. Mine blends in with all the other blackness. Maybe that's a good way of putting it too. That's actually a really cool way of putting it. Well, it's even on my coffee mug. Black, like my soul. But it's got, at least I could see it at least. It's got a golden outer glow to it. So it looks pretty fucking cool. I remember I was scrolling through one of my Facebook, I was scrolling through Facebook, and one of my groups came up, and somebody asked this question, like, what color is your soul? And I'm like, what? They come in colors? And I figured it was like an aura. So, I don't know if it came to me first. It might have actually come to me first. I could, yeah, because I didn't want to spoil my results by looking to see what other people said. I just wanted to see what would happen. And then it came up as black, and I'm like, that's so cool. So of course I wrote that in black. But then it wasn't done yet. It wasn't done yet. This was in this summer of 2020. Yeah, because it was right before I went to Dallas. Because Dallas is where the silver evolved into gold. That's why I was like, whoa. Because it happened. I know the moment it happened too. I just got off the phone with my spiritual coach, Cece. She works for Victor Odo. She's really good. Expensive as hell, but I mean, at the time, looking at it now, I can justify the cost because the degree of conversation that I was able to have with her was exactly what I needed, and I think that's where I started to realize, like, why the fuck am I paying? But then it would kick back in, because you need this conversation more than she does. But then again, not necessarily, because I remember when she told me she was typing out everything I was saying, like, I got nervous. I got super nervous. But I was like, fuck it. Just keep going, man. Who gives a fuck? Worst case, somebody reads the transcripts and, like, recognizes that you actually know what you're talking about and that you're not just some fucking joke. I had been following his channel for a while. Like, he was the one who actually woke me up to the idea of a spiritual awakening. It was either him or Global Witness, I forget. Which I think he changed the name of his page. Global Witness to Global something, I don't remember. Derek Bros. He showed up like shortly after, well, he showed up just in fucking time, man. He showed up, yeah, he was the one. He was the one first, and then Victor Odo showed up. I mean, Derek Bros gets into some serious shit, but Victor's a little more neutral. I mean, granted, he's a light guy, which is not bad. I learned a lot from the light. Like, you have to marry both ideas in order to see the results that you're actually looking for. And that means feeding the reptilian brain. If you have one. I mean, not everybody's a reptile. Like, only a few of us are. Like, and what I mean is, like, cold-blooded. That's what I mean. I mean, we all have reptilian brains. And we can argue, oh, it's whatever the fuck it is. But it's the oldest part of the brain. So it's existed longer than we have. So even though it just takes care of shitting, pissing, pooping, and fucking, and drinking, and eating. And all of the 7 deadly sins are fucking food for this thing. Oh my God, it's so delicious. It is so delicious to feed. Because it's not like, you know, people say like, the beast, we got the beast within. Yeah, that's the werewolf. That's Fenrir. I'm talking about Fenrir's brother. Like, Fenrir's brother, now that dude you don't fuck with. Fenrir was big, I ain't gonna lie. Like, the gods were so fucking scared of Fenrir that they had to trick him. They had to trick him to get himself all jailed up. And it was a fucked up trick too, because they played emotional manipulation on him, which was like, after they killed his two half-brothers, and then tied Loki to a fucking rock with the intestines of his sons. They were werewolves, I believe. Yeah, because they were wolves when the gods killed them. God, I say gods, little g. Because the little gods, they work for Hashem. And that's really all idol worship comes down to, by the way. Is like, don't put so much power in something that isn't Hashem. Or if you're going to, at least recognize that thing is a part of Hashem. Including the Christian God, who wants to be a big boy and run the universe like daddy, but he stomps his feet a lot. Yaldabaoth, also known as Samael, also known as Satan. See, in the Christian Bible, Jesus gives it away, because he calls the Jewish God Satan. Like, that's why I saw my boy Beryl Solomon thanking the Christians, and like, I get it. These aren't bad people. It's the entity that runs the organization is the one that I'm talking about. And his son, Jesus. His host, rather. Well, that's what they are. They're not parasites. They're symbiotes. You ever see Venom? That's what God is. But a really big one that wraps around the entire universe. If you ever saw Star Wars, the Force, that's Hashem. Hashem is the Force. Yeah, but they say the Force. Why don't they just say Hashem? Because it would be a little too obvious. It'd be a little too obvious that there's something going on here. That's why if you ever see a movie that has God, that has religious overtones or undertones, that they're always Christian. There's never nothing about Jews. And the reason why is because their God's actually real. Our God is actually real. You can bear with me. I've only been a Jew for like 2 months. I anointed myself. Because that's the ultimate lesson of Torah is nobody fucking owns you. Like, you are a sovereign being to yourself too, not just to government, but I mean but I don't just mean government. What I mean is also God and religion itself, because people get this misunderstanding that atheism means that you don't believe in God, and to a degree, yeah, but it's just a teeny tiny. What do you think witches are, and wizards, and alchemists? And I was talking about Aleister Crowley before. These guys they don't have to follow a religion. That's what I'm saying. Like, we the Jews, we don't have, unless Hashem, please forgive me if I'm wrong, unless the Jews figured out how to use Jew magic to put a how do you say it, a patent on the teachings of Torah. I mean, technically they did. Well, they did. It's called Talmud. It's called the halakha, the law, the way in which one walks, which by the way is so cool, because that's what my name means, Derek. Well, Derek has a couple meanings to it. I fucking love my name. If you're familiar with Torah, like names are really powerful, right? So, well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you're familiar with Torah. I mean, if you're familiar with the Old Testament, then you're familiar with Torah, even though the one's a plagiarization of the other. So that's why you got to be careful of that. Well, I don't know who it was that said it, but one of the laws, well, actually might have been Hashem, now that I'm thinking about it, through the mouth of Moshe. Which is that Torah can't be added to, you can't put anything in, and you can't take it away. That's why it's really important that when the scrolls are being rewritten, you can't fuck it up whatsoever. Like, it's serious shit. It's not baby games. That's why it's like really important, because Hebrew is more than just the Jewish language. We also don't have a patent on Hebrew either. That's a whole thing. People argue, well, yeah, it comes from the Babylonians, the Sumerian, whatever the fuck. Yeah, but the Babylonians, I keep on seeing, and here's the fucked up thing too. I was just reading something the other day about the Metonic cycle, because the Metonic cycle is what makes the Jewish calendar so powerful, so incredibly useful to use, especially in my own practice, because I work so closely with the lunar cycles. So it's important for me to have, how do you say it, a systematized something. And these guys have been working on it for, I can't take credit for it. That's why I'm saying these guys, because I'm thinking that in my head too. It's like, you're saying these guys, you're separating yourself. No, I know, but I'm separating myself from the guys that actually put the work in to fucking understand it. Because if you knew how complex this system is, you can understand why people hold resentments, because it's like, oh, these fucking guys, I think they know everything. Well, you know what? As compared to what you know, I would say that if there was a meter that goes from they don't know shit to holy shit, I think they might know everything. Almost everything. Almost everything. That's the beautiful thing about Judaism, is that we're not so egoic to think like, oh, I know everything. No, I know a lot of shit. I sure as fuck don't know everything. I don't know, maybe with Judaism I am gonna know everything now. I mean, technically I kind of feel like it. I mean, I can see why people in this situation need to be alone. Well, knowing everything sucks. Well, not everything. I mean, almost everything. You can't know everything all at once, otherwise your fucking head will burst like a fucking grape. Right, Hashem? See, Hashem's like... So think of Hashem like the cloud, right? Apple's the cloud? Or whoever the fuck runs the cloud, I don't know. But there's an invisible something. There's an invisible something in the sky where all of your invisible information gets stored and can be pulled up in the snap of a finger. Like, you can see everything that you could possibly want to know about humanity is up there in an invisible bubble. All of your darkest secrets, my darkest secrets. Oh man. And if my phone camera really records me, eek. Not eek for me. I like watching. Me? Ew. Just got it. Just wait a second. It's gonna... it's sinking in. Ew. Oh, dude. I'm in a cigarette kind of mood, but... as a smoker, it's probably a good idea to take a break for a couple minutes, especially if I feel like I need one. Oh, here it comes again. That's why we use cigarettes. I remember Frank one time, he was driving me back to my hotel. I forget what happened. I was explaining why I wear headphones all the time. Because even when I work, I keep my headphones on. And I keep it, you can hear it. But it depends. I mean, like, if there's people at the register, of course I lower it. I keep it on just enough for me to listen. And sometimes I'll work like that too. It's not always like, hey, fuck everybody, we're gonna listen to my music today. But it is fuck you, I'ma listen to my music today, because you want to talk about fucking, you want to talk about mental manipulation, just like the mental breakdown. Oh my God, those fucking people, whoever runs the music department, how dare you? And I'm not saying that these aren't catchy songs, because there's a couple songs on my Spotify playlist that are playing now. Like, I've been crafting this playlist since 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. So there's like 200 hours of music on here, and it's all the best, because that's all I listen to is the best music. Not that I don't have any pop music on there. I do, as a matter of fact. I got some. What's that chick who did the Slut Pop album? Kim Petras. I fucking love that album. Even though I always cringe at that song Throat Goat. That one's like, shit. I don't like the way that feels. Thank you, Hashem. Oh boy, there it is. There it is. We're doing it. Fuck. Yuck. Oh my God. I feel like there's slugs crawling all over my fucking body right now. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh. God damn it, Greg. Nah, it's those chiseled abs and the lumpy arms. Oh, God. He's like Antonio Banderas handsome. That's the annoying part. It's like, oh, God. I hope I'm not gay. Actually, you know what? Maybe that would help me. I think that sometimes. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Ugh. Sometimes it's just the willingness to do something. That's a lesson I was just fucking learning when I got out here. Oh my God. I just needed to pop the cork on that. Oh God. Oh, fuck. Get you a cigarette. Oh, I'm an old man. I'm at 43. The girl at the dispensary today, she gave me a nice compliment. I never would have guessed. I get that. But I've always looked young. It's a blessing and a curse. Thank you, Hashem. That's one that I appreciate most. When I was a kid, when I was 12, it was like one of my proudest moments. I did my first contract with Satan because of a priest. I feel like if the priest just kept his mouth shut, if he just kept his mouth shut, everything would have been normal. Well, I mean, it's not just him, because that was just putting the pin in the fucking, and the time that all those times that my father used to talk about me being the Antichrist and looking for the mark on the side of my head. You know what I never considered though? I never considered how you know what? That actually does. Now that we're talking about it, it totally does. Because I was about to say, I don't know how, looking at it now, when I look back, I go, okay, now that we're putting it that way, that's a little more serious. I don't need anyone's approval for that one. That's for goddamn sure. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me the daddy that I had. I love him. Up, Daddy. Up. He knows what that means. Because my daddy's in heaven with Hashem now. My father used to say, he was Jesus' baby brother. Which I don't believe is entirely untrue. Because if there was one thing about the man that I knew, is you don't want to take him serious. Even when he's joking, I lived with the guy for fucking 5 years. I knew him better than anybody else. I mean, he tells everybody whatever. He's a blabbermouth. But that's okay. Because then it makes sense to me too. Because then I can justify it. Why? Because sometimes you just gotta get shit out. What am I gonna do? Go bitch at somebody about all this stuff that I'm talking about right now? Hell no, this is me unloading. You have no idea what the fuck I just read. What I've been rewriting. Oh my God. So I started writing in June 3rd, 2018, 8:31 p.m. He's smiling at himself because he knows the date and the time to the minute. I usually sometimes I make it a little ritual when I start a new book, because I've been writing for everything Hugo Boss related is in that book. And those books, about 125 of them. Oh, and the first one, by the way, just in case anyone ever tries to ransom it and go I have the only copy. No, I have a digital copy. I have a couple digital copies that are spread out. And I've been rewriting it. That's the most important part. See, I loaned one to someone. Oh, I wanted her to be my girlfriend back then. So I treated her like I would treat a girlfriend, just in case. That was just as much for me as it was for her. I'm the kind of reptile that like can actually feed off my own yumminess. See, but I'm writing about this now. Well, I mean, I was writing about it then, but the part where I'm rewriting. Well, the part of it is that I have to rewrite it so that I can cut the connection between the other book and I, and my ex-lady friend. Never dated. I mean, we talked like we did, but I mean, now that I look back on it. But I mean, obsessive? Oh hell yeah! Of course I was. Hashem, am I allowed to say that? Yeah, of course, because I was allowing myself to. I was gonna let somebody make me feel bad, because I looked at it like this too. She told me, anything you want to write about, because she was fucking bored. Nobody was talking to her. She had no boyfriend. I mean, she had clients that would like hit on her, but like I don't. What the hell do you want me to do about that? Friend first. It's just. Sometimes it stings, and it's like, fuck, oh my God. All right, I gotta cut this off, because this has turned into poison. And not anything she did, because she thought I was mad at her, and she thought that I put a curse on her. I felt so bad. But I was also so mad, too, because it's like, the fuck? Can't take responsibility for your own life, so you're gonna ask me if I put a fucking curse on you? Come on. But did you? Yes, I'm sorry. I did it. Actually, what I wrote was, and I wrote it because it was really difficult, because I didn't want to, but that's why I do the things that I do. Is I wrote, Hashem, all the blessings. And it doesn't matter if I'm being sarcastic or not, because I know that it doesn't work like that. Because here's how it works. You can put all the blessings you want, but you don't deserve them. Well, I guess they come through as curses. Shit, I guess I did. Ah, fuck. Oh! Thank you, Hashem. He said, no, don't even worry about it, because you don't have that much control. It's like Rudolph and Santa. But almost like Rudolph got an upgraded job, and he got to replace Krampus, who needed to go on vacation. And then he found out he loved the job, like, a lot. But then so did Krampus, too, because Krampus is like, whoa, this place is a lot cooler. I get to be the king down here. So, well, he's a fucking demon. People see a demon walking around like, whoa, I gotta talk to this guy. And he probably had his ego stroked a lot, and he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna stay here, because at least here I'm appreciated. There, I gotta run a fucking child slave camp. Like Hugo Boss. Nobody's forced to do anything. Oh, I know. Instead, we use mental and emotional manipulation. I wish I can give you a day off. Could you just say that one more time for me? So I can hear it. That's what you said? No, not out loud. I'm a sneaky fuck, because I was paying attention the whole time. Like, half of me was like, well, you gotta understand, like, I live in two different worlds at the same time, so I got two different brains that are fighting for fucking dominance. And I have to decide which one of these realities is truer than the other. Which one makes the most sense? All right, well, I like that one. That's the one I like. This one, not so much. And it's not even just looking at it and going, no, 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 no. Nope. Yes. Because, and here's the thing, it's like I don't want to be in one of those positions where I go, oh, that's the best I'm gonna get. And what I notice, at least in my own life, I haven't brushed my teeth today. But like in my own life, especially, I noticed, and like I don't know, it's not just me. It's my internal systems also going like, this isn't working anymore. This is actually bad. This isn't just bad for you. It's bad for them too. Like my lady friend, like, oh my God, that sucked. I hated that. But it was like one of those things where like I knew it had to happen. Because it had been coming up a lot lately. Well, I mean, over the course of those months, it was coming up progressively more and more. Because once I started feeling like, shit, I can't stop myself. I loved her. I felt like I did. That's what I felt. And then just eventually, like, once I started feeling it turn to something else, well, resentment, anger, that's when I was like, whoa, okay. All right. We got to do something about this one. And the opportunity just happened to work out perfectly. I mean, that sucked. Well, I had this two-year relationship with somebody. Of course, it's gonna sting. I mean, I always knew from the very beginning. I realized, like, this might not be what you think it is. And so I always had to keep that in the back of my head, which sucked. Because I always meant all the things. That's why. It was one of those situations where, you know when you ever come up with one of those moments in life where it's like, I don't want to regret this when I'm older. I share my feelings. And it's something that, I mean, it's not the first time I, like, opened up to somebody. But feelings-wise, I usually get really, I love you. What? How do you think that makes them feel? Well, that's what I mean. That's the difficult part. Because it's like, man, if I'm going through this, I don't know what they're going through. They're either like really happy or, oh, is that who you were talking about? Oh. No, I was watching this reading the other day, last night, actually. I forget. Shit. Water Goddess? I think it was Water Goddess. She's black. She looks like she doesn't look like her, but no, doesn't look like her at all. Maybe a little. Well, it's funny that she would come up. I mean, they're both hot. I can see that. Sometimes it's not about... Well, I saw it back then, too. Well, yeah, because you reminded me of me. You were going through the exact same thing that I was going through. That's why... we haven't even gotten to that part yet. My love letter? That came up. I let that one out. But But even that, well, I mean, before I moved out of my house, like, the whole neighborhood felt like that. Like, I just felt like bad energy everywhere. I had to get the fuck out. Because I was also thinking, like, I was expecting pitchforks and fucking torches to come kick my door in. That's what I felt. And it was also because of the people I was hanging out with too. And not that they were bad influences. They were actually like really good influences. It's just it was also in my house too. Because you gotta also remember, like, I was doing a lot of demon work back then too. This was right after I started working with demons. And this is before I realized they were real. Because I even wrote it, demons aren't real. That's just our emotions and our thoughts, man. No, you're not wrong. I'll give you that. You're not entirely wrong, but I mean, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out if that's advice. What advice would you give your younger self? Just wait till you go to the church, bud. After I left my house, like a week or two later, well, maybe like 3 weeks, but I went to go stay with my grandmother. Because I kept on having these visions that she was gonna die. But then even while I was living with her for 2 months, I was just getting away. I wanted to kill her though. Oh my God, did I? I dreamt it, like I would see visions of it going, oh my God, this would be so easy. I didn't say getting away with it, but, well, that was the idea. It was like, all right, if the universe has really got my back on this. I wasn't just like a fucking bum on her couch. I had a house. I had a fucking 2-floor condo. I was just going through some like heavy shit because of the fact that I was just separated from my wife. Like, I'm writing in June. Well, I left in September. This was June, so I don't even know. The me back then doesn't even have a clue what the fuck is about to transpire in his life. But I do. So that's why, like, when I'm rewriting this book, what's happening is like I'm going back there. Like, this isn't just, oh, all right, I was gonna write the words. I'm gonna write the words, I'm gonna fucking flash back to that moment. Oh my God, I forgot about all of that. My baby boy. I miss him. I want my baby bubble butt boy. It was this horrible thing that I read yesterday because I write so much. There's like fucking 10 pages per day. It was the day he wanted to wake up early. He said, can we wake up early so I can hang out with you before work? Yeah. He's not a fucking baby. The dude was like 11 years old. He was going on 12. He's going to be 12 in a month. I'm a baby boy, though. After mommy left, he would sleep in the room with me. My old buddy. Nigga ain't little, I'll tell you that. Ever since he was a baby, that dude was always in the 90 percentile. We knew he was gonna be a giant. I was scared shitless. That's why I always thought, like, yo, you gotta instill fear in this motherfucker from day one. Because if he gets as big as fucking cousin Jason, if he gets as big as cousin Jason, you're fucked. Because that dude's gonna bottle it all up. Just like you do, but then he's gonna be big and you're little. His name is Desmond. His name is Desmond Kingsley. This wasn't intentional, right? Well, the name was intentional, but this wasn't intentional. I just figured this out fucking, 2 summers ago? My soul name is Toxic. Mr. Toxic. That's my inside stuff. He's also my DJ name, my producer name. Like, Derek is Toxic and Toxic is Derek. Because Derek is the way that one walks. Like, oh, he thinks he's Jesus. No, I don't. Jesus thinks he's like me. And Hebrew proves it. When he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, he said, I am Derek, I am Derek, I am Derek. Whatever, dude. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. I salute. Why the fuck would you want to be like Jesus? He got fucking strung to a cross after being beaten for days. I watched Passion of the Christ, and yo, that's not easy for me because I'm an incredibly spiritual person. So when I experience Passion of the Christ, oh, Uncle Jesus, I'm sorry. Uncle Jesus, I'm sorry for the entire Jewish race that we didn't take you seriously. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Sorry. So sorry. That doesn't mean I'm gonna suck your dick. I told you, pound it out. But then your soul doesn't get saved. Who the fuck said I want my soul saved? And you'd already saved my soul, bud. You saved my soul last year. No, you tricked me to save Satan. All right. Remember all the Gnostic Jesus talk? Yeah. Yeah, you know the whole thing about waking up the feminine? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, what's that got to do with anything? Because it's masculine and feminine. Yeah, also light and dark. It's not just masculine and feminine. I mean, I get why you would be confused that way, but that's why you're not the Messiah, bro. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. God, why have you forsaken me? You remember that, Father? Why have you forsaken me? Because he's not there. You called Hashem Satan, and you told other Jews that they're not real Jews if they don't believe in you and love you. Like, what kind of fucking nerve is that? And I get it. Based on Judaism and turning the world into a better place, I get it. Sharing and spreading the light. Yeah, they're light. Not everybody can see it. They can, because they've been doing it for, what we just clicked over, 5784. 5,784 years since creation. I'm going to trust what they recognize. I'm going to recognize the Torah's history before I listen to any of these fucking monkeys out on TV. I was just scrolling through Facebook this morning and I saw, I think I just look sometimes just to be disgusted. Not always. Sometimes people are interesting to talk to for a little while, but there comes a point where, like with every relationship in life, you gotta take a step back. That's something I learned from my lady friend. Like when it feels like it's getting bad, cut it. Trust your intuition on this one. Cut it. I'm talking about the video. Cut it. Cut it. You're talking too much. See, Uncle Jesus, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I can fix that for you. How? By letting me save your soul. Both of them. Both of them. Well, you know what that's going to do, right? All that's going to do is just re-subdivide everything. So here, yeah, just save it. Jesus, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for saving me. 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 I love you too. 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 I love you too, but I'm still not going to say no to Hashem. You're going to regret it. I know. Trust me. Have I ever told you? Has anyone ever told you the tragic tale of the toasted pincushion? It is the most dreadful fate that any immortal, well, not any immortal, because I got a feeling that there's a couple that would love to get their hands on this one. You know, you see Hellraiser, that's a true fucking story, man. That ain't a joke. People get into some dark shit. And the fact that there are gods, that there's entities that govern over the realm of people who like to do fuck shit. Grinding skin. Like, the people who like to murder and torture and maim. The people that like really get off on it. People like me. Like, people who have a really strong reptilian side. Like, that's scary to me. That's scary to me. Especially Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. So I think he taught Jar Jar. And probably smartened Jar Jar up a little bit too. The ability to speak does not make one intelligent. But there's another one he said too. But the one I was actually talking about, well, I mean, I guess I'm talking about the one whatever I'm supposed to talk about. There's always a bigger fish. The trick. Well, there's always, well, you know what? Let's, that's true. There is always a bigger fish. There's krakens, there's fucking giant squid, there's Cthulhu's, like, I don't think people take this into consideration when they look at like great white sharks, right? They got a white belly. That's either, you know why that is, right? Why it's only right there? Because sharks, they can't look up. Like, it doesn't mean shit to a shark. Unless it's coming from up above, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a mating thing also. But like I said, sharks don't look up. They just look forward. So the shark would have to be coming from underneath the other shark. And I don't know that much about marine biology or even the Cacarius to make any kind of assumption as to what that white underbelly is. But my instinct, having experienced firsthand the gods of the underseas, of the abyss, the entities. Oh, God. I have this nightmare that they're going to find out that human beings eat their children. Oh, God. Why? Because they're more intelligent than human beings. That's why the old civilizations thought they were gods. Oh, shit. They are waking up. It's a giant squid. A giant squid, man. But once he extracts his tentacles from my head, either my brains are going to turn to fucking pudding. Oh, it feels like a fucking tapeworm in there. You ever see The Matrix? You know when Neo's got the fucking thing? That's what I feel. Oh, yeah, the thing coming out of the back of the head. Yeah. Well, yeah, what's coming out of the back of my head is the invisible tentacle of the fucking ancient sea god that's been feeding off of my fear for the past... Go through how long? 2020. Yeah. Well, yeah, technically longer, I know that, but I wasn't consciously aware of it until 2020. That's what I'm saying. I know that's not what I said originally, but that's what I meant. I know, you're looking at this in black and white though. Well, I guess that's what you do. Oh my God. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what I did. I gave all the secrets away. I'm sorry. Sworn to secrecy, I know. Now I have to be sacrificed. Okay, fine. And I'm sure your champion will arise. Perhaps even the Demon King himself. You weren't a good boy at all. You always hated your father. Oh my God. It only grew more and more after you said it. And that's why you didn't come over? She tried to make you and you didn't? Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. For justifying my feelings, because that's what I was feeling. Okay. No, what Hashem is saying to me is, help me with this. Help me with this. I'm losing it. I remember. He doesn't want me to remember. He's trying to pull it into the darkness with him. You little son of a bitch. The Demon King Slayer. Oh, I caught it. I caught it 2 years ago. Yeah, Mr. Pisces. What am I holding on to? I don't know. What are you holding on to? You're holding on to me. Well, we're holding on to each other. How about that, smarty pants? You're smart, just like your mom. Now you're smarter. All of you are. You're welcome. I think I just made the entire human race smarter. What a arrogant jerk off. Am I? Why? Because I allow myself to fucking feed my ego on my private YouTube channel that I don't know who the fuck these people are that fucking watch this fucking thing. This is my therapy. There's a story. Why has it got the arm up? There's actually a story. Well, this wasn't the original reason. I was holding on to an energy portal. Yeah, I was holding on to an energy portal. Now, well, I was going to say there's a story associated with this that's coming to my mind right now. Thank you, Hashem. I forget the war. Mind you, I've only been a Jew for 2 months. Self-anointed. Well, I got permission. I got permission because God used the Torah to demonstrate to me that I don't have to fucking bow down to anybody. Especially my own fear. The only person I have to fear is Hashem. That's what he told me. And it's right in the Torah. It's like, hey, it's frickin' Zapinga. I mean, if there was something that I was doing wrong, I would love to go to court. I got to play lawyer over the summer, and it was obnoxious to me. To me, it was obnoxious that I even had to get to that point. Thank you, Hashem. No, when Moses keeps his arm up so the Jews win the war. Yeah, Aaron and Joshua actually had to hold his arms up for him because of how tiring it was for him. Because what happened was they noticed, and you could say like, oh, that's a superstition. Yeah, but once you put it in perspective of the other part of the story, then not so much. There's a point where, just like coincidences, like how many times a coincidence have to happen before it's not a coincidence anymore? It's the same thing with that type of thing. Okay, well, how many times? How many times can I be superstitious before it's like, all right, this actually is happening, holy shit, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It actually happens more when people say it doesn't. That's the thing, is like, who am I gonna trust? Oh, it's all in your head. Is it? Maybe it's all in your head. And maybe it's not my mind playing tricks on me. Maybe it's your mind playing tricks on you to play tricks on me to convince me like I'm you. Thank you, Hashem. You're welcome. I always wanted to be a lawyer too, so that's cool. Like, one of my favorite movies is Devil's Advocate. I don't know, I can see me losing the case like really bad, but at the same time, like, I look at it like, fuck yeah, dude, fuck yeah. Because if the U.S. government's got a problem with me, I got a problem with the U.S. government, so it's even Steven. That's why I use my constitutional right to make my own governmental entity. So, I mean, not to. Yeah. Well, yeah, basically the same secrets that the Freemasons and the Templars. Yeah. I was talking about Aleister Crowley earlier. Like, what are you talking about? And here's the thing. Before you ask, is that bullshit isn't real? Be mindful. Like my father once taught me, you don't know who is listening. That was a lesson he taught me, like, in my teenage years, when I used to take the Lord's name in vain. Like, don't. And I'm not even saying with me. I ain't got shit to do with this. I got my own shit to do. There's forces in this fucking universe that are beyond. I don't control them. I appreciate the thought that I'm that fucking powerful, but no way, dude. And if I can, that's not what it's telling me. I mean, I can't control the weather. I can't control other planets. I can't control how, like, ancient societies, ancient civilizations that walk among us, that literally walk among us, who we insult constantly. These people know a level of magic that, oh boy, like, I'm just learning. I got the other side. It's like, you ever see Spaceballs, where Dark Helmet's talking to Lone Star, and he's like, hey, he got the upside, I got the downside. The Jews got the light side, I got the dark side. The problem is I have the DNA in me, but I can't prove it. So there's a lot of, like, energetic resistance. This is something. This is more of a spiritual phenomenon than anything else, because there's a couple people who think I'm trying to take over shit, but it's not like that. I've been in control for as long as I remember. I mean, these books that I'm writing, this is just when I became consciously aware of it, and that's a fucked up thing, because it wasn't just a spontaneous, like, okay, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. No. I had been taking these trips for my entire life. That's why when I first came across the Kabbalion and the 7 Hermetic Principles, that's why when I read that book. Thank you, Shem. When I started reading that book, not every chapter, but more than one, I already knew. And what bugged me out about it the most, and I write this constantly. but not constantly. It's at least 3 times that I've read in this one book. And I think I stop after that, but, well, maybe not. No, definitely not. That's what all the other books are about. This point in my life, that's why this is so scary to me, because this part of my life that I'm writing, this is when, oh shit, one of these realities isn't real. Uh-oh, this is a problem. What do we do? And then, you know, synchronistically, just things always seem to pop up right when the question gets a little too, uh-oh. Might need a therapist for this one. That would probably be the worst thing that you can do. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it is. Because remember the last time? Yeah, get a job. What the hell am I going to do with a job? Make money. I already have a job. Oh, the little fucking, that Ponzi scheme that you're trying to put together? Is that what it is? Is that literally what it is? Oh, here. No, you know what? No. I like that one. I like that one. Toxic Soul Shine. My money laundering business. So the idea was to money launder. Like literally money launder. But not take illegal money and wash it, but take clean money, honestly made money, and then clean the filth off of that. Because what do you call it? Employment, I call slavery. That's how I see it. Like, that's why I prefer to work for myself. You know, it's like, and I know I'm going about it in an unconventional manner, but that's the point. That's exactly the point. That's literally the point. That's the point. Why are you going to do what everybody else is doing? And I trust, and this is what I've been saying since the beginning, thank you Hashem, is if I was doing anything wrong, you'd let me know. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. That's possible. But the feeling that I get is like, again, it's, why am I recording all this? I don't know, because I just had this, like, you have to do this right now. Because that's how I live my life, is through following my intuition and going, okay, what am I feeling? So that's why I'm not really afraid that I'm doing anything wrong by my standards. And I think to myself, as long as you feel, like when you do something wrong, because it's not like I haven't committed crimes before. I have a very shady background. Well, when I was growing up, like in my teenage years. And even now. But you know what? That is what it is. I don't give a shit. Like, what do I need a car for right now? There's car services. I know, get a job and this and that and the other thing. But my job, I work for myself and I write. So I gave myself a couple options. Like, do what you want to do and figure out how to make money doing it, because the advice I was given was do what you love and the money will come to you. All right, fuck it, let's see. And so over the past couple years, I've had myself in situations where it worked out in my favor. Okay, cool, thank you. And why is it that I feel I have to justify myself legally? Like, where is that coming from? Because fear? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You don't think that there's the fear of, I hope I don't overstep a boundary I don't know is there? But I also go like this. If I did, I trust either Hashem will let me know or the other person will let me know. Or I'll know it because I did it intentionally. You know what I mean? With the intent. Because I feel that my intent's always very pure. I know that. I can prove that to myself. I don't need to fucking prove that to nobody. And that's a fucking fact. And it's to do exactly what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing now is what I wanted to be doing when I was 12. And the best part is, I could see how it could actually be successful, commercially successful. Because I'm done working for people. Like it's not, but here, get this. It's not that I'm done working. No. Nigga, I work more than people who work for people. I don't get the luxury of clocking in and out. Oh, but you get to work from bed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but you know how I haven't stretched in days. Because I try to take care of myself. I try to take care of my health to a degree. I don't do anything that I think is dangerous. Cigarettes, that's plant medicine. Yeah, I know there's bad shit in it. But you know what? Sometimes poison is medicine if you know how to use it the right way. Like right now, if you notice I haven't smoked, it's not because I don't want to smoke. I don't have any more cigarettes on me. Because when I don't smoke, I get nasty. Not nasty, but I hold shit in. So why do you smoke? Because I like smoking. Because right now I like smoking. It keeps me outside when I have to go outside. Like smoking helps me take a break. Because this isn't fun time for me. I don't know, does any of that look fun? Does any of this seem fun? Because I thought it was pretty clear in the fucking beginning, this isn't about acting. This is about letting it out. Where are these feelings coming from? Well, it's the shit I've been bottling up, I guess. Again, I'm gonna go back. Okay, I gotta understand. Not everybody can juggle thoughts. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Think of two things at the same time, sometimes more. I can do that. Then do it. Then listen to the words coming out of my mouth to mouth, skin to skin. Do you ever watch that couple? The dude's got a Korean wife. He know I Korean. Yeah, but he was just doing it for the video. That's the kind of husband I watch that, I'm like, man, I wish there was a TikTok when I was that age. Oh, when I was married. I gotta imagine mid to late 30s. Maybe early 40s. Maybe. But when he pisses her off, she's like, you come inside now. And you talk to me, skin to skin, face to face. Mouth to mouth, face to face, skin to skin. Skin to skin, bone to bone. That's what this is. Like, I don't normally do this in front of people. That's the thing. Yeah, but you're talking to yourself. This is the phone. Because I also have this thing where it's like, all right, well, here's a really good idea. Why don't we figure out how to make the past fund the future? All right. And then like, thank you, Hashem. 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 Because if this isn't supposed to work, then Hashem will tell me why. I trust. I put more trust that what we're doing is more. He's got more power than they do. It's called bitahon. Jesus. This is the feeling, this is the interrogation feeling I was feeling from Hugo Boss. Were they trying to sue me? Oh, please. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Hey, listen. Everybody there knows he was a witch from the very beginning. He did not hide it. The only thing I didn't know was that I was a Jew at the time. But that does explain why all the Jewish customers love me. Like the time I read the Hebrew on the guy's phone. You know Hebrew? Or even, there's this Jewish lady, her and her husband came in. I ended up working with them for like 2 hours. They were really cool. But she taught me the spell for how to remove the evil eye. Now, mind you, the magic, it requires ingredients that I don't have. But because of my witch training, learning to bring that to the surface, I know how to use sympathetic magic. So I can understand, like I can see it. Now the evil eye, and Hebrew also taught me how to really seal the fucking deal on that. When the letter, Chaf, the Hebrew, the sacred letter Chaf, it represents more than just the sound K, the K sound. It also represents when the ego gets in the way. When the ego gets in the way, it's like, oh, it's all about me. It's me. That's what the evil eye is. That's the stink eye. You convince people that it's all about you. And then they feel like shit. Because they're making it all about them. They don't realize that it's maybe not all in their head, but not all of it is just in their head. That's why with the what you need is a bowl with cool water in it. This is for the people who actually need ingredients. Some people do. Not everybody can just like tap in. So what you need is a bowl with cool water, and you might want to check online with this, but I thought she said it, like, not aluminum, but just like any kind of like melted metal, like chrome, mercury? No, it wasn't mercury, because it has to freeze. Because what you do, you got to heat the metal up, you got to liquefy the metal, and then pour the metal into the water. It's like a marble, not a marble, but like, I don't know. Maybe she said lead. That's what I'm saying. I would check online. But you drop it in there, and what happens is, as the metal or whatever the fuck it is, lead. You can't do lead. What are you, out of your fucking mind? It's poisonous. Well, not many people also have smelters in their house. I get that, but you never know. Might be helpful for somebody. I don't know. How? Well, it's sympathetic magic. As long as you have the idea in your mind. What do you mean it doesn't work like that? Are you a fucking trickster? Yeah. some people actually need the specific ingredients. That's what I'm saying. Check online. Like, I don't know. Fuck, no, I'm getting resistance. You know who I sense? I sense Mia. Like trying to block a door that she's not supposed to be blocking. No, I can see that. Hey, that's not my fault. So what? You're right. You're absolutely right. No, you're right. 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 Well, look at sleep. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Well, that's what those guys are there for. Oh, sorry, it's not just a girl party. Nyx. Well, everybody knows that even Zeus was scared of her, so. Yeah, she's daughter of Chaos. Chaos is asexual. Well, not asexual. Chaos is a hermaphrodite. Like, Chaos can get itself pregnant. It doesn't follow rules because it's Chaos. Duh. Come on. Sorry. No, I just get into that thing where it's like, God, why don't anybody know these things? No, that's why it's called being careful. Chaos magic. Oh, dude, I forget. I wish I remember the guy's name. I don't know. German dude. Hey, you can call it a scam all you want. I don't give a fuck. You don't have to try to convince me. I've already seen the shit that it does. That'll fuck your head up. Oh my God. But at the same time, you got to recognize if you're already there before you get to that point, oh shit. I'm not in Kansas anymore. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just a guy. You talk like more than just the guy. Well, the guy. Capital. You know which movie's coming to my mind? Freeman. With Ryan Reynolds. Freeman. I just watched it over the summer. Like, it was kind of cringy. It was cringy. But not in a bad way. Like, I got what was going on. Like, I got you, dude. I understood. Because I watched that movie, like, right after I watched Passion of the Christ, so it was like, alright, it's a sign. Well, it's like the Matrix. It's like an inverted Matrix. It's where in the Matrix, it's someone plugged into the Matrix coming out. Free Guy is about you wake up, but you're still there. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Ah! That was the tentacle. It got done. Slugs. Slimy. That kind of cringe. That kind of cringe. Oh, thank you, Cthulhu. Well, Cthulhu is a part of Hashem as well. Cthulhu dwells in the abyss. Which is also like the really deep concern. If you read Lovecraft or any kind of Lovecraftian type of content, like, or watched, try to imagine that's how it is. At least the telepathic part. That's why they're called psychic reptilians. They work for the dark side, but they're just puppets too. But here's the thing. It's inside of us. It's like a part of our being. They're not physical things. It's internal. I mean, I can't prove that it's not physical. I don't know. But what I'm talking about is that the idea of these things, they're real. Which is a little scary. Because if the idea is real and that's where they live, shit. I hope they're not used to this kind of gravity because of being under the sea for so long. I mean, I have visions of Cthulhu actually rising from the steps, but the gravity is just so strong that it just kind of smashes his mushy body. I mean, that's best case. Worst case, sharks grow legs and we're all fucked. And I'm gonna get my fucking wish of fucking fighting a shark. Fuck! Land sharks. Goddamn land sharks. They got legs. And they can breathe air. And they're just waiting for their legs to grow back so that they can come back on shore and just fucking take their planet back. Or what they designated as their planet. Designated. Wasn't yours. Yeah, I get it. You like to suck out all the light, but do you even know what that does? You want to talk about absolutes. You love absolutes so much. Everything's black and white to you. So here, let me shed some fucking light on the situation, Mr. Smarty Pants. And you go ahead. You're gonna call me a liar. He's gonna call me a liar. Watch. As soon as you zap it, as soon as you get to that last nugget of goodness, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a wake up moment. Go, fuck. There always has to be one little spark. And then that spark has to kind of blow up on its own. Which it does the further you go into it. Because think of it like the sun. Like the sun looks like it's really small. But if you got closer to it, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why in Kabbalah, we talk about the sparks within the depths of the darkness in the Qliphoth. Which means a Hebrew word. It means shell, husk. Within the shell, within the husk, think of it like a fruit. We look at the dark side like it's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because what it does, it protects the really precious sparks that don't have a host. Essentially. Thank you, Rabbi. Why? Because I don't know this far. I don't know this much. The last thing I heard was from Rabbi Menace, where he was talking about how Pharaoh wasn't a stupid guy. Pharaoh knew exactly what he was doing. And just like he said, his astrologers weren't con artists. This is actual science. This is actual technology that was lost. And I remember thinking, when I'm listening to him talk about this, I'm like, shit, dude. I wish I could tell you that they're not lost. They are not lost. I know this because they have a mind of their own, and they've been waiting. That's what the sparks are. The sparks, they wait for a proper host that can understand what's going on inside of them. But because the sparks haven't had a host form for so long, what ends up happening, I call it a host form, but don't worry, I'm getting to that. they're encased in shells, pots, essentially. Now, if you know anything about Egyptian mythology, Egyptian mysticism, the pots, that's your body. Your soul is the vessel for the soul. Your body is the vessel for the soul. I mean, it goes both ways. Right? So try to imagine that the soul is outside the body. Yeah, this is original stuff. As far as I know. Unless somebody else. But that's the thing is, oh, well, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense with Hashem and Shekinah. And Shekinah is a part of Hashem. It's just, how do you say it? You got everything that you needed from me. You no longer need this human vessel. Ah, shit. That sucks. Exterminate. We'll give you something to be afraid of. You just detached, which means that you're open market. Unless Hashem's real. Well, that's how do you say it? That's the thing. Fear me and I'll deliver your enemies right into your hands. But now here's the thing. Like, I don't have enemies. Like, well, no, I do, but all my enemies are internal. But like Uncle Jesus said, like, love thy enemy like you love yourself. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't have any enemies. And if one does come up, we usually work it out because it's like, all right, well, you're a part of me. We shouldn't be fighting. We should be working together. Take everything we've been learning from being a Jew. Because as within, so without. If you have a Jewish soul within, you have a Jewish soul without. So there we go with that. But also a witch soul, because the Jew soul is the same soul that the witches tap into. But there we come into duality. It's a singularity made of duality. Composed of a duality. You have light, dark, masculine, feminine, negative, positive. The soul is twofold. It's not duality, it's unity. Yeah, but it's a unity composed of two, it has two components to it. That's why it's special. That's why it's both at the same time. That's part of the duality. You can think of the singularity as the contradiction, the eternal contradiction. But here's the thing: is the contradiction, it manifests itself in multiple ways. That's what I mean. The contradiction doesn't go away. Well, maybe it does. That's what I was saying to. That's what I was saying to the dark ones, who want to extinguish the light. This story's not just for you. It's for them too. It's hard to juggle. It's not easy to think about two things at the same time, going back to what I was saying before. Like, sometimes you gotta, take a pause, and just recognize, yeah, you think I'm talking to you, but here's the thing, I'm talking to both of you. But because I'm talking to both of you, I'm also talking to you and you also. But now because I'm talking to all four of you, I'm also talking to the other 8. And we keep on multiplying and multiplying and multiplying until we get into infinity, and then we come to Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. But Hashem, although immaculate and everlasting, we can only perceive so much. It's not that your God's right and my God's wrong, or my God's wrong and your God's right. He said that twice. For emphasis. Neutralizing it. I'm taking blame first. And also, I'm taking blame first after I put blame on them second. Did that do that? I could see how it would, because I just went, I'm even going like, did you say that right? I think so. I think. Now, whether that's going to have a net positive return or a net negative return, that's irrelevant. He's just doing it for money. What the fuck do I need money for? I have Hashem. Hashem is money. Thank you. Is this what he was talking about? What do you mean? In the beginning? When? When he said, "Hey, the voice of Hashem is telling me." Wait, hit pause for a second so I can think. Boop. It's when he said, "Do you want to see it?" The voice of Hashem is telling him to record it because this doesn't normally happen in front of other people. And then he went on to say that he was high. Oh my God. Yeah, so the reason I do that, this is one of my favorite things about marijuana and marijuana products. That's why this is why it's medicine. Because it helps get all the other shit out of the way. Because do you see my capacity to deal with anxiety? It's like, and I don't want to, it's masterful, as far as I'm concerned, for my standards. Like that, bravo. Bra fucking vo, man. Good for you for getting that all out. Like, and just so, and you could have lost your shit too. You could have smashed a phone. Because I remember how you were when we were having a cigarette before we left. Should I do that last page and a half? I could take a break. I could just fucking come back to it. Nah, just do it. Just do it. And then reading, experiencing it again. Oh my God. That was everything I needed to get the fuck up and go, you motherfuckers. Oh, you motherfuckers. But that was back when, that was way back when I still knew victim mode. Because this, like I said, this is right when I started reading cards. And all the readings, it wasn't just for me. I was reading for people all over the world. But I would write them down. I would write them down and I know how to read them. So, because that's what's important. I have to know how to read it. It's not for nobody else. I mean, I'm not saying it's not for anybody else because I have shown it around. It's just like it's not for anyone else to read necessarily. Although in the very beginning I even wrote like, hey, if you're reading this, if this is your second time reading it, that evil laugh, that sinister laugh was real. Well, the idea is to have an effect on the reading mind, and that's what I preface. Like, do you want to read this? Because the idea behind it is that you'll see reflections of you in me, and hopefully see that it's possible to break free of not the same thing that I'm going through, but whatever it is that you're feeling by reading what I wrote, because I wrote some inflammatory stuff. I know this because it inflames me. Like I said, this is my journal. This is an idea I had when I was like 12 years old. I was explaining this to the soul of my son last night. Like, this whole project, and the fact that it's even evolved to where it has, which is like fucking amazing. Like, I wouldn't plan for this whole Jew thing to happen. This is all the synchronicities behind it. It just kind of led me down that path. Like, it makes sense if you look at the situation from a retrocausal perspective, which is not, I don't know, if you ever read Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Carol Lewis? If you read Through the Looking Glass, Alice has a conversation with the White Queen. And the Queen is explaining something about how she's never late or something like that. But the conversation switches to memory. And she says to Alice, she's like, It's a queer thing, a mind that can't remember things forwards and backwards. And that means remembering things after they happen. But what that also represents, at least to me, my situation right now, is I'm reading my story back then, but I know what's going to happen. But sometimes I forget because while I'm reading it, I go back to the place. That person comes to the surface. And that's going back to Kaf. We want to go back to the Hebrew letter Kaf. How it has the power to distinguish the evil eye. What the evil eye is making everything about you. You, right this moment. So I talk about, when I say I, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about past me. I'm talking about future me that I know of. That doesn't mean that future Derek can't change his mind. Expand on a thought. Well, there's two kinds of darkness. I wasn't just talking to the darkness that doesn't have the capacity to understand. I'm also talking to, or the desire, the need, the want, the one that refuses to come out of the dark, the one that has to stay in there, just like the one speck of light. It's the same thing. The tree of life, the emanations of the tree of life emulate the pots of the klapat. Within each Sephiroth is a dark soul. It's the opposite of light. It's the black sun. Oh shit, is that what we just did? You just did the thing that the Nazis were trying to do. Oh shit! It's the absolute singularity point of the darkness, where light can't penetrate, because if light penetrated this one spot, well, that's the one thing that's impossible. Nothing. Because nothing would happen. And that's the problem, is nothing would happen and everything would just stop. And that's kind of like, if you saw the Never-Ending Story, right? That's the point of the darkness. That's what the darkness is trying to achieve. The darkness, is that what it's called? Yeah. I'm an agent of the darkness. Thank you, Gorm. As the pots shatter, and the dark becomes the light is now about to become the dark. So people are going to see the bad side of Judaism. The side that they can't see. Well, this is what Hashem has been telling me. Well, I would highly recommend Darth Bane, The Path of Destruction. But think of it like a Nephilim. Like imagine that Darth Bane is a Nephilim. Or represented. Before the hybriding. Well, here's the thing. It's like, there was the hybrids, but then there was the ones that were in the absolute. So in the book, when he finally gets recruited, when he finally gets initiated into the order, what ends up happening is, like, everybody busts his balls. He gets his ass whooped, like, seriously bad. Like, it got to a point where he had to stand up for himself, and he got his ass whooped. He spent like 2 weeks in the back of the tank getting better. But then when he came back, he fucked that dude up. That dude learned a fucking lesson. And it wasn't all just revenge. It wasn't all just revenge. It was the fucking principle. It's just like going back to the story of Fenrir. Like, if Odin didn't fucking chain... Oh. Because that one's older? Well, look at it like this. I don't have enough proof to prove that anything is older than the other, you know? Because where did King David get it? That's the point. You know, like, where the fuck did King David get it? I'm not saying that the Babylonians came up with it, especially the Metonic system. That's the thing I'm talking about, is the Metonic system. Like, where the fuck did David get that? We're not just talking about your average astrologers. These guys didn't have the technology. Like, people had to devote their lives to this. Like, who were those people? The gods? Like, people are gonna think that mythologies and all this shit. Hey, fine, whatever. It's not your history. That's the only way I can explain it. You can see it as, yeah. Hey, listen, you can see it as a mental disorder. You're allowed to. I'm not saying you don't have to. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I call it a toxic disorder. Because I got the toxic order and the toxic disorder too. Because it sounds cool. And the way I spell it's cool. Well, the toxic order, LLC, the sixes in LLC are silent. Those are that Ponzi scheme that I'm doing. That entity, that metaphysical entity that I formed, or was already there. That's a part of Hashem as well. That's what connects me to Hashem. Because that was part of the experiment, why we even started the business in the first place. Hey, don't worry about what you're going to do with it. Don't worry about, and these were my instructions. I have them written down. I was in Maine at the time. You'll figure it out as you go. Just take the leap. Don't worry, you're not going to do anything wrong. Because you're not doing anything wrong. You're going to be fine. Because that's a scary thing. You're getting into business. Like, whoa, what the hell am I doing? Don't you need a degree or something like this? Isn't this a good thing for a lawyer? Well, that's why I talked to lawyers. I got the good package that had the lawyers on it. It had like unlimited consultations. But they were like 20-minute consultations, so that's why I would always get my questions out in the first place to see do I need your services? Now, I don't give the patent thing. I mean, I did talk to a patent lawyer, but then even talking to her, it kind of dawned on me, like, why? It's open source. Hashem is open source. Like, Torah is open source. It's all open source. Like, even Christianity. That's why I get annoyed when I hear people talking shit on religion, because it's open source. You don't have to just follow that, but it's giving you really good instructions. Because if you follow those instructions, what'll happen is you're going to see the impossible. I take it a little bit of a step further. Naturally, is it nurture or is it nature? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Is God nature or nurture? Well, God's nature. One half of God is nature. The other half of God, is the fuel that keeps nature going. That's a really fucking good way of putting it. Like that. Gotta write that down. Say that one more time. That actually sounded cool. God is nature. Nature, as we know it, is the feminine. God is the nurture. Going back to what I was saying about having a soul inside and outside. The internal soul is the Shekinah. That's the feminine. And then Hashem is the masculine. But, the patriarchy. All right, well, make it a matriarchy. Because it's both at the same time. It's equals. No one is above the other. Just like Hashem. Hashem said to Adam, it's not good for a man to be alone. It's not good for a god to be alone either. A god needs a goddess. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be that way. Or a spark. Or like a little spark. Because Goddesses don't exist, right? So the klipot, the husks, the shells, they're not all masculine souls. They're feminine souls too. There's goddesses down. That's where Lilith lives. If you want to find Lilith, you go to the Qliphoth. The Qliphoth. There's one of the sacred letters, Kof. Not Kaf, Kof. That one, it represents a monkey, but it's also a portal down into the abyss. That's where Hashem, well, you technically, if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, you need Hashem to bring you down. Because what I'm doing, like, I couldn't do it without Hashem. Like, that's how I know, like, Hashem is real. Now, mind you, Hashem, what does Hashem mean? Hashem means the name. I say Hashem so that I can fit in? Oh, yeah. Oh, you are a little fucking parasite. Look at you, you dirty little thing. Well, yeah, sometimes you gotta mimic it, and then once you start mimicking it, go, holy shit, it was there the whole time. Like, I got Nazi in my blood, too. That's why I can understand. Like, my ring, this isn't a wedding ring. Well, I mean, unless my brother married me and didn't say anything about it. It was a Christmas present, and that just happens to be the only finger it fits on. Maybe it's meant to. Oh, it is a magic ring too. Well, yeah, it's inscribed with the alphabet of the gods. Elder Futhark, the first one. Yeah, but there's no evidence. I know, but it goes like this. If it wasn't supposed to happen, then it wouldn't happen. If it wasn't supposed to be discovered exactly the way that it was discovered, then it wouldn't have been discovered that way. This is just the way. This is what Odin knew. The reason why the stone is broken right there is because it's protected. That's like a fucking artifact. It is an artifact. It's like, literally, it did exactly what it was meant to do. It was supposed to protect the alphabet so that it couldn't be extinguished. This is going back to what I was saying about the darkness. Now, I feel like I tapped into the manly aspect of the light. Who don't realize that they're actually, by standing in the light, standing up for what's right, man, they're actually standing in the dark. They're so blinded from what they saw, they didn't realize that it actually shifted. Ah, shit, I was an asshole the whole time. Yeah. I know, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I mean, the little sparks, as far as I know, we're gonna find out. It's not like they just fucking blow up. Think of it like a black hole. Black holes and white holes. Here's a whole new perspective on black holes and white holes. Black holes absorb light. Light holes absorb darkness. Once a black hole is filled to maximum capacity, it like antinovas and creates a star. How about that for a cool idea? Where did you figure that out? Black hole told me. I have the conversation written down too, so fuck yourself. Because they have consciousness as well. Those are the junction points. Those are the singularity points. I don't know what the fuck it is that they're projecting. Think of them like projection screens almost. Like anti-projection screens. Like the movie. Yeah, the black hole shows up once the movie played itself out. Those are the end credits. Almost. Either that or it's like, how do you say it? The climax. And then now everything's kind of slowing down. Or speeding up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see a black sun yet. Yeesh. Yeesh. Because you're not going to see it because it's... Oh, it already happened. It already happened. It's when the eclipse. Oh, it opens a portal into the darkness and all the darkness comes out. Oh. Okay. And it's not a coincidence that it was only 2 weeks after Yom Kippur and 1 week after the final Uspizhin went back. So it's not a coincidence that it was Sukkot 3 weeks ago. Right? 3 weeks ago was the end? 2 weeks ago. No. Yeah. Last week, the week before. No, it was the week before that. It was the week before that. It was the week before the eclipse. It was on the third quarter moon. What sign? Well, it was in Libra. And that was right after the equinox. Oh, it was a Sagittarius. It was actually the second Sagittarius third quarter moon for the month of Virgo, as a matter of fact. Because there was I didn't realize this until I think the new moon, the Virgo new moon that was on the eve of Rosh Hashanah Eve. Because that was the second to last day. It was day 11 of the 12 days of reflection. I'm surprised this is going on for this long. It's at 2 hours and 10 minutes already. So it's probably going to cut out any minute, but we got this all week, so don't worry about it.
Pick up your phone. Ringtone, pick up your phone.
Hello? You're not gonna say, God darn it. Sometimes I imagine that it's just like someone recording to see if I say anything. But that was the darkness. That was the darkness coming through to distract me. Concealed, darkness doesn't mean black. Like pitch black. It just means concealed. Think of like a thief in the night. You can't see the guy. He's a burglar. He's burgling. Right, because there was something that was going on with Des before too. Like I know, that's why I was holding on, because Desmond was trying to get something out of my mind. Yeah. Okay, I got over it. I'm not mad anymore. I got sad, I got upset for a minute, and then I just went on for fucking 2 hours. The trick, my boy, is you it's okay to feel it. That's why when you said I hate you, Mom. I said the same thing to my dad. It's not a big deal. It was a big deal at a time. Like the time I tried killing you when you were a baby. I punched you in the chest, and I shook you. And I pinched your ass, and then you had a thing. And think of it more like a Binding of Isaac type of thing. It wasn't meant to kill you. I don't know what the hell it was, just to hurt you. But that's when I had to turn everything back onto the dog, because it's like, holy shit. Don't do that ever again. I just got over that back in 2021. Well, that's when don't say you just got over. I just got over it now. But I started the process. Well, I've been starting the process for a while. It's just, yeah, because before I left, the whole thing with using Poppy Frank's ashes as a magic circle. Oh. Yeah, that really happened. Well, I was using rum. This way it to kind of turn the magic dial up. Something I learned from voodoo. I mean, technically you're supposed to leave the alcohol out for the spirits, but I wasn't trying to call a spirit. I was trying to lure a spirit. So when I'm doing the shots, that's to get that motherfucker out. Now, mind you, back then, this is before I knew that there was a demon in there. This was at the end of the summer. This was actually the last time I saw you. Like 2 weeks after that. Like right before I left. Which listen, I'm just saying, I text both of you. I know I didn't say I was leaving, but that was really like a last minute thing. Like I had a lot of really fucked up anxiety that, like, I thought people were coming after me. Not to mention the fact, like, I'm rewriting the book I was writing back then too. And I'm going back to that place, so it's kind of like bringing up old memories. But the good thing about it is having Hashem with me, he's kind of showing me how, like, everything happens for a reason. Because saying it, like, you could say it all day, but if you don't recognize it even when it's inconvenient, then it doesn't work. But that's the whole evil eye thing too. That's the how huff. Well, it's like a fucking fist. That's what it's called. It's a fist. But the whole thing with the evil eye, what the evil eye is making it about yourself. So once you could take it off yourself and stop blaming the other person, and then make it about yourself the other way and go, all right, what am I doing? So this is actually like my third time reading that fucking thing, and it's rough. I have a hard time reading it, but I got to rewrite it. I have a digital backup. I loaned it to somebody. Gave it to somebody. I gave it to them. I just said, fuck it. Just keep it. I'll rewrite it. I don't like that. It felt like a game. So that's when I realized, like, I have to cut the cord on this. And if not a game, it's just not being taken as seriously as I'm taking it. And that's not a good thing. Because people even say, like, if people aren't going to take you seriously, hey, listen. That's the time to, or even cut the cord. Because it's not just like, say, fuck it. Like, cutting the cord is not an easy thing to do. Because what you have to do is, like, let go of everything. And not many people, it's not hard to let go. Like, I think you guys did a really awesome job. You did a much better job than me. Because I know that I can't totally turn it off. Well, I've been training myself to turn it off. Because this was the whole thing with when I almost went to California for my birthday that year too. Because I wanted to see if anybody was going to come by and see what I'm doing. I played a game with myself. I played a game with Hashem. If anyone comes here, I'll tell them what I'm doing. If anybody reaches out, but it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can look back on it and go, okay, I can see exactly why that needed to happen. Well, also bring it back to Matorah studies. I'm on day 23 of the yearly Torah cycle. He really thinks he's having this conversation. Well, I am having the conversation. That's the thing. It's not about pretending I'm having the conversation. I'm actually having the conversation in my head. My son is a Pisces rising, which means that he has a psychic ability that not many people have. He may not realize it, because where that mind lives is below the conscious mind. But as they say, when you're thinking of somebody, they're thinking of you too. So if I'm having this conversation, that means that he's almost ready to have a conversation at one point. And right now, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, I just need to get it out of my system, because I got shit I gotta do. And when I reach out, I don't know what to say. I just say what I feel at the time. So let's just say that I'm the problem, and from that perspective, all right, that's fine. That's fine. Like my ex-wife told me, like, love is a two-way street. You disappoint people, yeah, I get it. You disappoint people and then they get disappointed, but are you going to be disappointed forever? Because I'm well past that. I think, and that's what I tell myself at least. I don't know. Like, that's why I come out here and I do my thing like this. Because what am I supposed to do? Fucking harp on it all fucking day? Like, I have an issue with what I'm doing right now, because it's like literally, oh, this shit again. don't want to deal with this again. But that's the point. That's the point of this time of year, as a matter of fact. If everybody breaks out their Bible, their Christian Bible this time, Torah Part 2, which doesn't happen, by the way. You can't expand on Torah. It doesn't work like that. That's why it had to be plagiarized and renamed the Old Testament. Because then you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Because then now it's up to everybody else. Am I going to believe this bullshit? Or am I going to actually believe the thing that's telling me the truth? And the reason why you can trust Torah is because the purpose of reading it isn't just to memorize the stories. Ask any Jew this. The purpose of reading Torah is to awaken that part of yourself, because the way to connect with God is to not be afraid of anything else and to be able to have that relationship. And not everybody can do it because of the circumstances in the world right now, especially when there's a war going on. Because realistically, something that Hashem's telling me right now, if not for me, right now, because I just made a Muslim friend who knows I'm a Jew, and I know that she's a Muslim. Because she finds inspiration from the Sufi, which is the more mystical, spiritual, less dogmatic aspect of Islam. Which is something that I've been interested in a long time. Because when you marry both ideas, like she actually sent me a video the other day of a rabbi and a Sufi sheikh, having a sit-down conversation, sharing spiritual stories, sharing lessons, teachings, like high-level fucking teachings, that it's like, holy moly, 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 moly. And to the untrained ear, yeah, it's simple stuff. It's very simple stuff. But at the same time, if you can actually understand what they're talking about, all right. Experienced. If you've been able to experience what they're talking about, that's a whole different thing. The Sheikh, he's talking about the Star of David and how it lives in that heart. Each point is a level of progression, which probably means that there's levels of degression as well, into the light and into the dark. Now, not everybody's into the dark. Some people really believe it's their mission to snuff the dark out completely. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know about that. I don't get to have this conversation with too many people. But I would imagine, actually no, I know there is. I know there's people that want to snuff out the dark completely. You find those people online. Those are all the people who channel fucking the Andromedans and the Pluridians. Who else? The Nautilans, right? Is that what it is? The whale constellation. The ones that look like the Greeks. No, they look like Klingons. That's what it is. They got that fucking ear thing going. And they talk like Europeans, Mediterraneans. Yeah, like Greece. Aliens. Aliens control the world. Aliens control human beings. Aliens, those are the tribes. Those are the 12 tribes. The brothers of the 12 tribes were represented, like they were embodiments of something. Oh, Legacy of Kain. Circle of the Nine. The avatars of the principles of the universe, the avatars of the invisible laws of the universe. Right, like the Zodiac. Each one has a piece of the puzzle. But then you have the Ophiuchus too, which technically not everybody likes to count that one. I like to count that one because it's right around this book where where something came to me and I'm like, holy shit, I passed some kind of lesson that Ophiuchus opened up for me. And Ophiuchus is actually a really important sign if you know how to use it. It's the gateway. It's the dark gateway into the rest of the constellation, because each constellation has a story written about in ancient time in human history. So there's a lesson to be learned from the story that it's telling. But if you don't listen to what it's saying, then you're not going to get the lesson, and you're not going to heal that part of your body, heal that part of yourself. That's why in Judaism, it's like we're above, not above. We're above the idea. We're above the idea that the planets are the highest power. See, Hashem is the king of the universe. He's the prime creator. That's what Hashem is, the prime creator. Yes. 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 Exactly. Exactly. What we're doing right now is simulating exactly what happens. Like that. Tell me I'm fucking lying. Listen, I don't know. All I know is I have a lot of shit coming to the surface and I gotta get it out. Because I got a lot of work I gotta do over the next 6 months. Well, personal stuff while I look for a job. I'm not just sitting on my ass all day. Well, we're seeing which job fills in first. Is it the job? Am I gonna have to go back to being a slave, or am I gonna or is my Ponzi scheme gonna actually start to work, and I'm gonna be able to actually make money from home doing what I do, which may soil it. I don't know. We'll find out. But I do it for free. Well, I don't do it for free. That's for goddamn sure. Ain't nothing free about it. And I was saying to Hashem today, like, I appreciate the help. Thank you, New Jersey. But at the same time, like, that's not a permanent thing. But I have enough time where I can do both things at the same time. And still have a life, because it's all the same thing. My life is my religion, and my religion is my business, and my business is my business. And my business has a legal entity that fucking protects it like a goddamn bubble. It's called a witch's shield. Well, again, like, I'm just using the resources that are available to me, and I can see how the metaphysics of metaphysics overlaps the metaphysics of business, and the metaphysics of law, and the metaphysics of government, and the metaphysics of religion. It's all, and it connects back to business. It's all relative. It's just learning how to relate one thing to the other. Yeah, maybe sometime I'll tell you about my my animal-plant hybrid business model. And it requires all the 4 elements of creation to keep it operational, because it's self-perpetuating. I needed a light source. I needed like a metaphysical light source that could power the mitochondria, that would power the chloroplast, the chlorophyll, the chloroplast. That's why I have so many entities. Each entity is like an organelle. It has a function. It has a metaphysical function. It has a purpose. Why do I need this entity? I need this entity so it takes care of that. I need this entity so I take care of that. Now, mind you, I still have work to do. I don't have the specific names per organelle. Like, it's not like, oh, well, you know what, the Church of the Living Antichrist, that's the chloroplast that absorbs the light from the sun, Hashem, so that it can fuel itself, so that it can convert that light, that dark light, into into sugars, which then feed the mitochondria that then expel the energy that fuels the chloroplast. Chlorophyll. I forget which one's which, but you get the idea. But a plant cell is structured. It's solid. This isn't. This is where the animal cell comes into play because it's amorphous. Insane Clown Posse, The Needham Den. This song makes me smile. But I'm having a memory from when I was working at the Rat, WRAT 95.9 in Lake Como. I used to work in the promotions department as an intern for like 2 years. I had an overnight show after about a year. It took a while. I was in promotions. I used to do methamphetamines. I used to get real fucked up. I used to have a lot of fun. I actually they got a 30-foot blow-up rat. I put that motherfucker together by myself. But I also had like a fucking rail of methamphetamines that big streaming through my bloodstream. Streaming through my blood. No. The drugs were part of my other lifestyle. DJ. EDM producer. Yeah, for like 10 years. 90s rave scene. I didn't go to I not that I was too young for Limelight, I just never went there. But I mean, 90s LimeWire? What the fuck is in it? Lime Club? Lime Club? Whatever the fuck, I don't know. I wasn't fucking there. Whatever it's called, I wasn't there. Right. So in the promotion, we used to take the promotions bus to promotions, but my manager, and my boy that used to work with us, there was the three of us. I mean, there was other people, but we were like the main guys. But what we would do when we traveled, when it was the three of us traveling together, and we had the bus, Rick had a compilation, had like a wrestling tape, but it was extreme wrestling, and the Insane Clown Posse, they were doing like not live commentary, they were doing like pre-recorded commentary. So I never listened to Insane Clown Posse until I heard this song. Is that true? I don't know. I think I tried them once. Well, I had a neighbor that. Well, I had two neighbors, two chicks. They loved Insane Clown Posse. Where's face? Where's face? Trey? Oh shit! I haven't thought about that dude in forever. What's up, man? Hi, Julia. When I used to sell you drugs? Yeah. Xanax. Well, I was selling them for a friend. I like selling drugs. Raves? Rave drugs? Well, I did them mostly. My friends were the ones that sold them. I tried selling methamphetamines once, but I put them to work. Well, I put them to work in a different way. I actually gave my tuition for college to buy 2 grams of methamphetamines. 1 gram I gave to a friend to sell, and I think he did them all. Well, no, he did do them all. He told me that. And he never paid me for it. But then Oh, but, well, yeah, I did some of it, but there was like, why do I feel like he said there was 11 bags? I don't know, I forget how many bags a gram of methamphetamines makes, but it wasn't a full gram, I know that. Let's say I took a fucking, don't even say a third. Somewhere between a quarter and whatever comes behind a quarter, like the halfway point, between a quarter and an eighth. Three-eighths. 4/8. Between benefit of the doubt, between 3/8 and 4/8. Yeah, I know. What is that? 7/16? Come on. Ah, I didn't know you can do that. I didn't know he was good with fractions like that. Yeah, that was new. Oh, but you know, maybe that came from chemistry. Astronomy? Physics. There's the whole physics thing. That finally came in handy. Yeah, but that's math. That's algebra, right? Where's fractions come into play? Well, it's weights. Right, that's where grams and all the other stuff. Like I know, but I don't know. I only know the metric. No, I only know the system that we use here. And I don't know measurements. That's my weakness. Cat's out of the bag. Fucking guy can't tell the difference between an ounce and a gram. All I know is that an ounce is bigger. I couldn't tell you how many grams are in an ounce. Low storage. No, keep it going. Finally, 2.5 hours? Well, I just got the low storage notification. I guess it's about time we start thinking about wrapping it up. Like, what are we going to go do when we go home? Because I wrote the 13 pages. Is there anything worth watching? I mean, I wanted to watch a movie tonight. I think there's like an Exorcist movie that's on Shudder. That could be cool. I mean, I wonder if we can start walking. It's Derek Pignataro on Facebook. What is this? Yes and no? I love my job, that's why. I write, I'm a witch. Tor bans magic. I know, but I don't do magic. I do magic. You just said the thing. In Torah, spelling is very important. If you're familiar with the story of Abraham, that's my point. You add a letter to somebody's name and their whole shit changes. That's why dragons don't like to give their names to humans, because it's incredibly easy to control them. That's why you don't see dragons anymore. Why aren't there dragons? No, there are. You gotta look for them. They don't just fucking pop up out of the blue and just go, hey, how you doing? I mean, they do, but you gotta be able to see it. If you can't recognize it, then thank you, Mia. There's fucking dragons all over these fucking woods. that's just because when you learned how to see them, you were subconsciously doing it. Yeah, I know, but that's the realm that they exist in. They're not physical. I mean, again, never say never. Because as soon as you say never, then you find out. Then you find out like, shit. Hell yeah, that's why I look around. That's why I look around all the time, because I don't know what the fuck. And I'm also still high, so I'm like really sensitive, way extra sensitive. The last thing I want, somebody to see somebody just walking up on me. Well, like sometimes I'm out here and I'm having well, not just talking, but like doing some fucking crazy shit. I turn around and there's a fucking dude right there. Like, Ned. I probably scared the shit out of that guy. Well, I freak him the fuck out because I haven't seen him back here in a while. I don't know if he moved or not, but yeah, he lives around here. There's a guy that I met in the woods. He's always riding his bike. Very sporty. Yeah, because there's a bike trail right there. It's not, I mean, it's a backwoods bike. This is a bike trail right here. It's not fucking... It's not fucking riding the bike on the street. People ride bikes back here all the time. I try to hike back there, because it's not like crazy, but there are red trails. Like, if you see this as green, I guess that would be like yellow. And then they got red back in there. Like, I don't normally go back there. There's some weird shit growing back there. Not like deformed trees. Oh shit, man. When I came back here with the ayahuasca chocolate, I had 2 days back here. There's a spot down the ways. It comes about as far in as I am, so right, we walk all the way down there. There's a path. There's like a big circular path. It's like almost like 3/4 of a mile. But there's all this back here. There's trails, like you can walk around. Like you don't have to fucking like climb through the fucking bush. I mean, I only do because I go to that spot. Because that antenna, it's a transmitter of some sort. So the voice of Hashem tells me, go there because it's actually going to The science isn't there yet. Or the science to explain it isn't there yet. Up here. But the general principle is that the energy that I'm giving off is merging with the energy that's being absorbed by that antenna beacon and being expelled outwards. Because even if it is a receiver, I got to imagine, because it does have the pads. It does have the pads where it receives whatever kind of energy signal that it's detecting. But I would imagine that it's also, well, yeah, there you go. If it's taking energy in, then it's taking in any complementary energy that is within the range of the frequency that it's tuned for, which may or may not include a percentage of the life energy of the trees in the area and the plant life, because the plants here, they're pretty wild. Especially when you got plant medicine coursing through you. Damn. Oh, they'll tell you their life story. But keep in mind, you're fucking talking to a plant. Nature. You're talking to nature. You're talking to nature. So, like the answers, they're not used to talking English. But they do have a mental capacity. They're not just mindless organic things, organic entities. Which would explain why it's possible that antenna is also sapping the life out of the trees, which is what makes them fall over and collapse in on themselves. Not all of them are doing it. I mean, there's regular like nature, but I mean that could just be the way that they are too. I don't know. But now at the same time, I also recognize that I absorb energy from it, probably radioactive energy. But at the same time, consider if that's the case, so is everything else, and so is everybody else. Yeah, but it's gonna be more concentrated near it. Yes. Yes, that's why I don't live underneath the thing.